state from the glorious independent state of Aceh.
I'm very honored to be here today because I learned a lot of new things that I didn't know before, and I'm very happy that the Dutch kept the history of my country very well, rather than Indonesian who destroyed and tried to neglect our existence.
I was shocked to see how big the cannons were, and it was great to learn about the history of my homeland.
And how about you?
I'm very glad to be here because I learned a lot of things about my home country's history.
The second question goes to Aziza. You have seen so many cannons and war equipment from Aceh stolen and brought here by the Dutch during the colonial wars. But there is the biggest cannon be found here called Lada Sichupa, lying exactly on the entrance of the museum. Tell me why on earth it was named Lada Sichupa.
Well, to know the meaning of it, you have to know its history. I can start off by telling that the king of Aceh, Alauddin Al-Kahai, sent two ambassadors to Turkey. When they started to sail, it took many weeks or even months to get there. So when they traded a lot of things. People gave them weapons, and in return, the Chinese people gave them spices. By the time they reached Turkey, they didn't have lots left, but they couldn't meet the Sultan right away because he wasn't available. He was battling on the field, and by the time they were there, they had to sell things too in order to survive. And by the time the Sultan came back, he didn't come back because he died on the field. So they met with the Sultan's son. And when they met him, the Sultan's son gave the Chinese people both weapons and soldiers for them. And in return, they didn't have a lot to give back. So when the Sultan gave the Chinese people the big cannon, which is at the entry of this museum, we only gave him one small bag of spices, and that is why it is called Lada Sichupa.
Thank you. Okay, the third question is, could you describe how was the relation between the Ottoman Empire and the Kingdom of Aceh in the 15th toward the 17th centuries?
Well, the Ottoman Empire had some kind of unofficial allegiance with the Kingdom of Aceh since 1530s, but the founder of Aceh and our first Sultan Alauddin wanted to develop these relations in order for him to overpower the Portuguese and to intensify his own power in Sumatra. So when Suleiman the Magnificent died, his son Selim II sent a couple of fleets to Aceh, and they were equipped with artillery, armor and weapons, and followed by some engineers, gunsmiths and soldiers. And the Achenese people paid for it with spices and diamonds and pearls, and they actually taught us to forge our own weapons. There were a lot of trades between the empire and the Kingdom of Aceh, and they helped build a strong foundation to a great alliance. So when these expeditions have great relationship with the Ottomans based on military and religious purposes. So, but for a very long time, Aceh was really powerful, and we didn't really need the help of the Ottoman. But in 1873, the Dutch attacked us, and we needed the help of the Ottoman. And they were reminded that they vowed to be our allies throughout thick and thin, and the king wanted to revive this agreement. But sadly, the Ottomans weren't able to aid us at the time.
Okay. The last question, why do you think the Ottoman could not help Aceh when the latter was invaded by the Dutch in 26 March 1873?
I think that Ottoman Empire needed to stand up for themselves at that time, so that's why they couldn't stand up for Aceh. And the reason why the Ottomans couldn't stand up for Aceh, that's because they got many enemies. Even their own people were turning against them. So at that time, the Ottomans were at weakest. Yeah.
Oke, thank you very much for. Saat ini saya berada di Museum Brownback, di mana di sini tersimpan daripada banyak sejarah Aceh, yang terutamanya ini ada sebuah ruangan di mana hampir keseluruhannya terdiri daripada peninggalan Aceh dan juga foto, dan bisa kita lihat sendiri bahwa semacam ruangan khusus tentang Aceh, dan di atas sana terlihat bahwa banyak jenderal-jenderal yang pernah bertugas di Aceh. Seperti mana yang kita baca di internet bahwa museum ini sangat hubungannya sangat berat dengan Aceh. Oleh karena itu komunitas Aceh di Swedia dan Denmark, mereka ikut datang ke sini untuk melihat langsung. Ceritakan sedikit tentang peranan muslimah dalam kerajaan Aceh tempo dulu dan juga di masa penjajahan Belanda.
Tentu sangat besar ya, karena kita sering mendengar istilah di baliknya sukses seorang lelaki pasti terdapat wanita yang hebat di belakangnya. Begitu juga dengan para pahlawan Aceh. Selain mereka turun ke medan perang langsung seperti yang dilakukan oleh Cuk Nyadin, Cuk Mutia ataupun yang lainnya, mereka juga memberikan dukungan moral dan semangat ataupun doa kepada para pahlawan kita. Dan mereka juga mempunyai peranan penting, yaitu mendidik anak-anak Aceh yang berkualitas pada masa itu.
Apa tantangan yang paling besar bagi muslimah Aceh sekarang ini dalam kehidupan masyarakat?
Kalau menurut saya, peran wanita dalam rumah tangga itu adalah merupakan tantangan terbesar untuk wanita berbaur di masyarakat, karena mereka dituntut untuk mengurusi rumah tangga mereka ataupun mendidik anak mereka, sehingga mereka tidak mempunyai waktu luang untuk berbaur kepada masyarakat. Dan juga ada faktor mungkin budaya ataupun agama yang menjadi tantangan bagi mereka juga.
Apa yang harus dilakukan untuk menghidupkan kembali semangat Malayati, Cunyadin, Cumitia, dan ratu-ratu kerajaan Aceh yang memegang pemerintahan selama 60 tahun berturut-turut yang lalu?
Kalau membangun sama persis semangat seperti mereka, seperti Cuk Malahayati, Cuk Nyadin ataupun Cuk Mutia, mungkin itu agak sulit di zaman sekarang, karena kita tidak merasakan langsung peperangan ataupun terjun langsung ke dalam perang. Tapi yang bisa kita lakukan adalah kita mengenang kembali jasa-jasa mereka dan mengenang kembali bagaimana hak kita sebagai orang Aceh direbut, dan kita menanamkan jiwa nasionalisme yang tinggi kepada penerus Aceh dengan cara mencintai budayanya dan mencintai bahasanya.
Apa tujuan Anda datang ke Belanda ini?
Bertepatan dengan hari ini, tanggal 25 Maret, kami mengunjungi museum barang peninggalan Aceh yang ada di Belanda ini. Di sini terdapat peninggalan seperti meriam yang dari Aceh, dan keesokan harinya kami akan mengikuti aksi damai solidaritas dicabutnya maklumat perang Belanda kepada Aceh.
pulang ke Swedia?
Ke Zweden. Saya sudah lama di Indonesia. Hij heeft een kaart van Zweden, ya. Kartu tunai dari Zweden. Datang
Bentar. Ya.
di Museum Brombeek di kota Arnhem di negeri Belanda.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih banyak.
Kadang orang awak elok sadunya. Aduh, aku digambar ini. Sudah jadi artis. Pacilok.